No.
Shalom, shalom. Giving our honor and praise to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh Shai. Thank the Most High for giving us another Sabbath day to get edified in His Word, man. The name of the class is a pretty long title, but get straight to the point. It said, if your son asks for bread, would you give him a stone? We know that we're supposed to be training up our children, leading and guiding the household. We know we're supposed to be seeking the kingdom of the Most High. But the Most High requires us to read His scriptures and requires us to get His words, man, in totality, man. First precept we're going to tonight is Proverbs chapter 4 and verse. Proverbs chapter 4, and we're gonna start at verse 20.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 20. My son, attend to my word.
Now this is the Lord talking to his son, but he's talking to the children of Israel. He said, my son, but it's just like the same thing how we should be talking to our children. My son or my daughter. Read.
Incline thine ear unto my saying.
He's telling you to, hey, I want whatever you doing, I need you to pay attention to these things, man. We don't.
Let them out. So it's like it. Let them not depart from thine eyes.
Now it said, and let them not depart from thy eyes. It means, guess what? Whenever I'm telling you, this is something that you need to be keeping with you from now until forever. Read.
Keep them in the midst of thine heart.
And keep them in the midst of your mind. Read.
For they are life unto those that find them. And health to all their flesh.
So it's saying it's life unto those that find them. And it's also health to all flesh, because we know how things can be, especially when you're dealing in the flesh, man. We know how things can get when we're dealing in the flesh. When you deal in the flesh, guess what happens? You overindulge in things, man. But when you led by the Spirit, guess what? The just weight and the just balance is always there when you led in the Spirit, man. We don't know.
Keep thy heart with all diligence.
For
out of it are the issues of life.
Read that again.
Verse 23 from the top. Keep thy heart with all diligence. For out of it are the issues of life.
He said, keep your heart with all diligence, because out of your heart is the issue of life. This is people don't understand. A lot of times the issues that you have with people, it starts right here in your own dang old mind. Then guess what? When it manifests in your mind, guess what happens? Then you act out, and here you coming with something that, and somebody be like, what the heck? What somebody, I know people hear this all the time. What the hell are you talking about? That issue started with your mind first, and then you act out upon those things, man. Go to Sirach chapter 33 and verse 22. Right? We're going back to Proverbs. We'll go back to Sirach chapter 3 and verse 22.
Oh, 3 and 22.
Because we need to be making sure that we keep ourselves in order with the Most High, man, and stop leaning into how we feel. Well, I think we need to start referencing the Most High as He had commanded us to do, man. Read it out.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 22. But what is commanded of thee?
He said, but what is commanded of thee? Read.
Think thereupon with reverence.
Now, those are things that we supposed to be thinking upon and referencing, man. Instead of I feel or I think, man. But what's commanded of you, these are things that we supposed to be doing, man. Supposed to be looking at the things that's commanded of us, man. Read.
For it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret.
So because guess what? Everything that's going on around you, it's not needful for you to see everything, man. Because a lot of people can't handle all the things that they be shown in front of them anyway. There's a lot of time our people is a type of nation that'll beg for a lie. That's how our nation works, man. Read.
Verse 23. But not curious in unnecessary matters.
It said, be not curious in unnecessary matters. Read on.
For more things are shown unto thee than men understand.
He said, because more things are shown unto you than you can even understand, man. Read on.
For many are deceived by their own vain opinions.
Because these are things, this is thing that that Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 23 is talking about, the issues of life. It starts in your mind. Read on.
And an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
And an evil suspicion have that's when you see, that's why I say, that's when you see somebody like, brother, what the hell are you talking about? Like, they've been saying some stuff that you ain't even thought about, but they thought about it, but here you are, and you like, dang, this brother done tripped out. Like, I hadn't even thought about none of the stuff you just said, but here you is, you just bringing some stuff out. Because guess what? That issue starts in your mind, and then you act these things out, man. Read verse 24 again.
Verse 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion.
Many people are deceived by their own vain opinion, man. Read.
And evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
And evil suspicions have overthrown their judgment, man. This is how our people work, man. Our people work this matter like this because our people have itching ears, man. Let's go to
Acts of the precept right quick.
Go ahead.
So Rock chapter 11 and verse 7. And go along with what I talking about. And that causes a lot of conflict and contention when people doing that thing, man. And 9 times out of 10, they do not have all the information that they need to even be making a judgment of that they make it. Because if they did, they'll see that that doesn't make sense. This thoughts that you have ain't even relevant because, man, they got the itching ears. They can't settle down. They mind going at 100 miles an hour, but they not listening to the scriptures, man. Read this.
This is book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth.
What did the Bible say?
Blame not before thou hast examined the truth.
Man, our people love to blame. That's what Israel do. Israel right now is blaming before they have examined the whole truth. They accuse the people of stuff, but they labeling people with this. This is the Most High God. This is the Most High God's job to do all that. All we supposed to do is keep the law, statutes, commandments, and love one another. But instead, now everybody in Israel is a detective. And it's like, man, examine first. And the main thing is talk to somebody first. How many times have the people that's doing this stuff talk to the people that they accuse? They never talk to the people that they accuse. I done seen it over and over and over and over, man. Read on that.
Understand first and then rebuke.
Understand first and then rebuke. Ain't nobody getting no understanding before they coming at somebody. That's what we was doing in the world. That's what we doing in Israel. Coming at people, accusing people, labeling people before we even got the whole matter. Got people saying stuff about us, saying stuff about other groups, but they not even in those groups or nowhere near those groups, and they just automatically making assumptions. Go ahead,
Be calm on this, man. In fact, let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 4 right quick. Go Lammy. Chapter 4, start at verse. Let me see. 2 Timothy, we'll start at verse. Shoot, hard not to read that whole thing. Shoot. Verse 3.
This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
Because a lot of people, we are in this time right now, man. A lot of people don't understand the way that they are. Instead of they hear classes come out, it's like, do you even? It's like the same. You bring out classes all the time, and then all of a sudden people go back and do the same thing we just did a class over. Then you'll see some. I mess around and see IUIC do a class, and then guess what, man? You'll see them doing another class referencing the same thing because guess what? The people in that congregation ain't heard it the first time.
Yeah.
And then you'll see Adam Abbott do it. Then you'll see ISUPK. All these every person that you watch, man, that's on YouTube, you'll see them constantly kind of doing some same classes because a lot of time people they ain't heard it. Then you sit up here and you verbatimly gave a class. Well, hey, what you think about this? Like, brother, I just had an hour and a half class on what you just asked me yesterday.
Right. yesterday.
And this is what happened to our people, man. They go right back because their ears itch so much, man. We don't know.
But after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears.
Because now these people, they have these teachers that got itching ears. Oh, we can't eat chicken no more because guess what, man? You don't pay attention to the classes, you don't read. Look, man, this is what we try to get our people to see. You must read. Guess what, man? If you studying it, IUIC, you should be watching them classes, building with them brothers. Because how do you think you're gonna go on the street with them brothers? Or how do you think you'll go on the street with GMS or anybody? And then one of the teachers at GMS, if you don't, somebody they attending the class, they go on the streets with them, and then I start bringing out precept. You like, dang, I ain't never heard that precept. Like, well, have you been there? Have you seen the precepts we've been bringing out?
Exactly. It's crazy, man.
Because a lot of people have itching ears, man. They ready to hear every little detail of anything else, but it be right there in the face, man. Your eyes shall see your teachers, man.
Because I guess it get redundant when you keep hearing, keep the law, statutes, commandments, keep the law, statutes, commandments. Now I want to hear some new thing. I want to hear the Negro only chart. I want to hear Ruth is a Moabite. I want to hear the Gentiles can be saved type stuff. We gonna keep saying the same stuff, and it's gonna keep pointing back to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites, and we got to keep the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High God in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh. They might get tired of hearing that, but that's the story, and we stick it to it.
And that's the truth. Matter of fact, we go get there. It's going to Acts 17 to 20. It's going to say it's going to say verbatimly the same thing I just said, man. Because they want to hear something new. They want something new. They want something new. They can't believe that they just got to have something new, man. They got to have something. This is how people act. They want something new. Yeah, when you get there, read it out.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 17 and verse 20. For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know therefore what these things mean.
So now he's saying this is how our people was doing up in Pergamos at the time. They bring these strange. It's like, man, I know these strange things, man. These things you talking about, this is strange, brother. What the hell are you talking about? They said, what the hell? Because these people are they bring strange things into his ears, man. Read on.
For all Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing.
That's all they want, man. They either want to tell this or they want to hear something new, man. This is how our people spend their time. Brother, if you can show me 100 different ways on how to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, I'm tuned in. Some people, man, you want to, guess what, man? The Most High builds us up all day long when you keep the law, statutes, and commandments. He builds us up all day long. He shows, we'll see something on the TV, and the Lord will break that thing down in your mind through the scriptures. You can see something that your children doing, and the Lord will break that thing down. He show you all the time. And now people don't open their eyes and see a damn thing, man. Because only thing you going is you looking for to try to find some new doctrine. Something new that you thinking, man, look here. Just do what's commanded thee, man.
Let me get something on that.
Let's go get it.
Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 11. This is what he commanded us, man. I know that all bread is sweet. All bread is sweet, but it ain't good for you. It ain't good. How we gonna go to some new thing when we ain't went to the thing that we supposed to be doing in the first place? Read that out.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, and verse 11. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers.
For what?
For the perfecting of the saints.
For the what?
For the perfecting of the saints.
We supposed to be perfecting the saints. How do we perfect the saints? with doing the righteous acts, rehearsing the righteous acts. That's how we get the saints ready. How can we get them ready if we study bouncing around to some new thing, man? Read on.
For the work of the ministry.
For what?
For the work of the ministry.
How is somebody trying to say to other nations the work of the ministry? How is that helping the ministry when the children of Israel don't even know who they are? We got to show the children of Israel they the saints first. Read on up.
For the edifying of the body of Christ.
We got to edify the body of Christ, of the Hamashiach Yahweh. How do we do that? Through the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. We got to perfect doing those things first. How can we worry about any of this other stuff? Read on up.
Till we all come in the unity of the faith.
Till we do what?
Till we all come in the unity of the faith.
How can we come into the unity of the faith if we doing a million-man march, man? How can we come in the unity of the faith if some of our brothers and sisters think that they are Muslims and Christians? You cannot come to the unity of the faith. So sitting up here talking about God loves everybody and the Gentiles can be saved, which is the heathens, doesn't make any sense because they can't come into the unity of this faith. This faith is for the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Read on.
And of the knowledge of the Son of God.
And the knowledge of the Son of God. What's the knowledge of the Son of God? The law, statutes, and commandments. It's no way of getting around that, man. Malachi 2 and 7. Read on that.
Until a perfect man.
Until a what?
Until a perfect man.
And if y'all been following the teachings of the Bible, to be perfect is to be keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Psalms 19 and 7. Read on.
Until the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ.
Read on.
That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro.
We won't be children tossed to and fro as 5%ers, as Christians, as Muslims, when we got our foundation in Christ, man. When we build our foundation on that rock, then we won't be tossed to and fro. Read on.
And carried about with every wind of doctrine.
With what?
And be carried about with every wind of doctrine. By the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
Come on, man. When we grounded in our culture, in our heritage, in our lineage, this is our doctrine of life. When we're grounded in this, we can't be tossed to and fro with the philosophies of this world. Like I said, you'll be watching a show or movie because it happens all the time. I'm watching a show. You analyzing every aspect of this show. Every detail of this show because you know what they're doing with the show. This is not just a show. You can see right through what they putting out here. You can see the message. And like I was watching a show called The Stand that they got out by Stephen King. Man, you can see Whoopi Goldberg's supposed to be a prophetess. These people are supposed to be the chosen. And they got the Edomite devil, the son of the devil in here. And when you watching the show, you can see all through it, man. That's what they do, man. But most people be watching it, oh, it's just a show. We see what the messages that they put in here because what it's called, television program. Go ahead,
Be con on that. Let's get some more on it. Hebrews chapter 10 and start at verse 22, man.
This is the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 22. Let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith.
He said, let us draw near with a true heart, because this is how the Lord expected us to come to him. Not this fugazi Pikachu or pick around with him, man. Guess what? He said, let us come. He says, let us draw near with a true heart in a full assurance of faith. Read on.
Having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience.
Having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience, man. Take all this. Guess what? Like these thoughts that he brothers, like you say, brothers and sisters be having sometimes. Guess what? Just let it go, man. Even guess what, man? It's so easy to hold on to something, man. Because guess what? In your flesh, you want to keep things going that don't profit you nothing. That's what the spirit did quick, man. The flesh profited nothing, man. Read on, Doc.
And our bodies washed with pure water.
And our body washed with this word, man. This water going into word, man. This word.
That precept. Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 26. And it reads, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
By the word. That's the pure water, man. The word of this Bible, man. These are the most high expect us to be on our minds to stay focused, man. Stay focused on him, man. Read on. 23, Hebrews 10 and 23.
Verse 23. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith.
So now we have in our minds steadfast on his word. Then the Lord said, you said you hold fast your profession, though. We hold fast our profession now. Read on.
Without wavering.
Without what?
Without wavering.
Without wavering, man. Read.
For he is faithful that promised.
Because the Lord said, he said, man, he is faithful that promised, man. The Lord gonna make good of what he say, man. This is the key, this is the point that I want to get. Verse 24, man.
Verse 24. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love.
To provoke to make him mad.
And to provoke unto love.
No, we should provoke. See, this is what people. If I'm gonna provoke you, I gotta provoke you to love, man. Which is the commandments. I can't provoke you to make you mad that I'm ready to get at you. We ready. No, I'm supposed to be provoking you to love. Guess what? Because if you mad at me for what I told you, you're going to be mad because I came out the Bible to tell you something. You ain't going to be mad at me because I said something out of my own mouth and that ain't got nothing to do with what the Lord say, man. This is what we need to be getting our minds set on to the Most High, man. Read verse 24 again from the top, man.
24 from the top. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works.
And to good works. This is what we supposed to be doing, man. We ain't supposed to be having our brothers and sisters out here. We up here mad, and I'm so mad. I'm ready to kick his, or I'm ready to kick her. No, we're gonna provoke each other to love and to good works, man.
That's the same nigga mentality we were at. Right. That means you ain't shook that Willie Lynch syndrome up.
You dang on right. And that's what that's going into, man. A person that ain't shut that Willie Lynch syndrome off you, man. You ain't shut. So you guess what, man? That's a oppressive. That's an oppressive.
Then turn around and be like, I don't know why they still mad. They holding a grudge. Why you ain't trying to smooth that thing out? You more worried about if they holding a grudge than trying to actually smooth this thing out?
For real, man. Because, man, from the beginning, man, look. The Lord said, man, I ain't never gave y'all these things, man. Matter of fact, go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14. And
matter of fact, before you go there, did we read verse 25 right quick?
I was going to go.
Oh, you gonna go? Oh,
good.
All right, you got it.
I'm coming back.
Okay. So that's Wisdom of Solomon. Hold it out.
Chapter 14. And Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14. And verse 11.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 11. For by the vainglory of men, they entered into the world.
Because guess what? This is by the vainglory. Guess what? These evil suspicions that's in your mind. By the vainglory of men, they enter into the world. Sin is entered into the world, man. Read.
And therefore shall they come shortly to an end.
See, but the Lord said it's gonna come shortly to an end, though. You playing the games, but these things come shortly to an end, man. It don't last forever, man. Read on.
For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he has made an image of his child soon taken away.
It says, so he making an image of his child soon taken away, man. Read on.
Now honored him, Salakia. Now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man.
Read on.
And delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
Jump up to verse 11 now.
Verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation.
So now the Lord said, even upon the idols of the Gentiles, it's going to be a visitation, man. This is going to the sin and to the sinner, man. Read on.
Because in the creature of God, they are become an abomination.
But in the creature of God, guess what? Sin has become an abomination. This is, guess what? When you going into sin and idol, all these goes into witchcraft or spiritual fornication, man. Read on.
And stumbling blocks to the souls of men.
Because they're stumbling blocks into the children of Israel, man. When we do like the heathens do, man. This is a stumbling block to us, man. Read.
and a snare to the feet of the unwise.
That is a snare unto the feet of the unwise, man. Read on now.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Because the devising of idols was was the beginning of us going off with the Most High, man. This was the beginning of us going off, and the Most High told us to be ye steadfast, unmovable, man. Read.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
Because this is how the corruption of life came, man. Us going through captivity after captivity after captivity, and the Lord made this word for us, man. We didn't have to go through this mess, man. But us with these itching ass ears, us that got sons, and guess what? We ready to give them a stone and give them a piece of bread. God. And this bread is going into this Bible, man.
and we'd rather give our people a hard time than give them a helping hand.
For real, man.
Our people would rather try to point out something that somebody they think doing wrong than to point out something that they doing right. That's why any Israelite that's out here trying their best to keep these laws and commandments, wearing their fringes, growing their beards, sisters in their skirts, I commend you. Because look how much stuff we all was doing wrong. Yeah. It was a day that everything we was doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So how now you get into the truth and now you holier than thou? How now you can point out every single thing wrong with somebody on Facebook? But what about you?
Right.
Go ahead.
Because guess what, man? When it's gonna be the next. This is the next part we're gonna get ready and touch on too. Because guess what, brothers and sisters, we got to understand, man. We think that we doing the right thing sometimes, but we be getting ourselves in trouble, man. Read verse 13 now.
Verse 13. For neither were they from the beginning.
Because neither was a sin here from the beginning, man. Read on.
Neither shall they be forever.
But all these idols and all these different things that we got into, it won't be forever, man. Go back to Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25. Because this is one thing that, brother, man, look at that Captain Nehemiah say this about it all the time. You can't keep the commandments by yourself, man. You can't do it, man. It's no way you can do it, man. Because this verse right here is how you be able to keep the commandments, man. This is how we keep the commandments, man. People think you go out on your own, then you find out, man, it's pretty tough doing it like this. Yeah, it is. Because if you should fall, who gonna pick you up? Nobody. Nobody.
The people around you looking at you, waiting for you to fall. You mean the words that's in the word?
Yeah, for real. Read it up.
Read verse start at 24. All
right. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 24. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more, and ye see the day approaching.
You see the day approaching. How can we? He's telling us not forsaking the assembling of ourselves, right? But right before that, it said, "Let us consider one another to provoke unto love and good works." Because then, when we come together, we'll be happy to see one another. If in the time that we was apart, we provoked each other unto anger, how can we then come together and have a good assembly? This is why I said that first. We need to learn how to provoke love unto one another, man. Because if we don't, we're going to have a major problem. You want to eat off this? Because I want to bring a precept out.
I was gonna bring a precept with that one too.
Let's get it.
See, let's go. You can get yours.
Proverbs 18 and 19. Because this is crucial right here. We are stubborn, hard-headed, strong-minded individuals when it comes to not forgiving one another. That's part of the curse. So that's why he's telling us to provoke unto each other love. Because that may, when we see each other again, we happy to see each other. Read that out.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18 and verse 19. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city.
Man, the scriptures say a brother offended or a sister offended it's harder to be one than a strong city, because once we get offended, because all this hurt that we have in our life, we already hurt people. All of us is walking around hurt. Something that happened in all our lives, and we got trust issues. And then we trust each other. We try to love one another, and somebody turn around and hurt you. When we offended, it's harder to be one than a strong city. Read on.
And their contentions are like the bars of a castle.
And when we come at each other, it's going to be like the bars in a castle. They're going to be hard as hell. So that's why we need to provoke unto each other love, man. And I want to bring this up. One thing that the Christians almost had right, but I'm going to flip it and use it in our way. What would Yahweh do? That's all you, as well as looking at your fringes, you need to think, everybody needs to think when there's something about to occur. What would Christ do? Well, if he wouldn't do it, that means we shouldn't do it. That's an easy indication of how we need to move in this thing, man. What would Yahweh do? Nah, Yahweh wouldn't get on Facebook and talk smack to one of his brothers and sisters. Yahweh would not cause contention between none of his brothers and sisters. He wouldn't do that, man. He wouldn't get into a fist fight with one of his brothers and sisters. So that's what we need to keep in mind.
Big man. Let's go back. Let's go to Sirach chapter 36 and verse 11 right quick, man.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 11.
This right here, precept with Hebrew chapter 10 and 25, Zephaniah 2 and 1. These are precept upon precept, showing it as how we supposed to be assembling ourselves together. Because it breaks down so much, man. When you talking about assembling ourselves together, man. Read it out.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 11. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together.
You said gather all the tribe of Jacob together, man. It's the same thing it's going into. Read on.
And inherit thou them.
So, but then the Lord said, because when you gather amongst the people, the inheritance is there, man. We see in our people, man. Read on.
As from the beginning.
As from what?
As from the beginning.
Because we have always done this from the beginning. So when you're trying to do it by yourself, you can't do it. You're supposed to be always gathering. We did this from the beginning.
He didn't just bring Moses out of Egypt.
Come on, man.
He didn't just say, Moses, you come out of Egypt. I'll bring y'all out one by one. He brought us out as the children of Israel together. The 12 tribes of the children of Israel, man. Together. He didn't bring out one tribe, Judah. He didn't bring out Naphtali. He brought us out together. So from the beginning, that was so. So how we get to 2021 and I can be an Israelite on my own? Or what we call individualites?
Individualite. You can't do it.
And then be an individualite sitting on the sideline trying to snipe at people. Them brothers right there, they ain't teaching right. Man, them brothers right there, man, they don't know what they talking about. Man, them brothers right there ain't got no knowledge. Man, what is you doing? You ain't keeping none of the commandments.
And guess what? Our information is in the description below. Y'all got the people have a problem. Our information in the description below. You got the email, you got the phone number, you got all kinds of stuff right there. But guess what? If we said anything wrong out of the description, anybody can call us and tell us, email us, or text us, whatever, tell us that we're doing wrong. But you gonna have to prove through the scriptures. You ain't gonna just run your mouth and just say something.
Really? That ain't happen.
You just ain't finna do that. Like the scripture, you got to prove all things, man. You want to prove it, but you want to bring some precepts, man. Hey, talk no more exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out your mouth. That's where it be. You ain't got to come through the precept.
Right.
Let's go back to Proverbs chapter 4 right quick. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 again. We'll read down a little bit.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, and verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
So keep your heart with all diligence, because out of your heart is the issues of life. This is how we're supposed to be telling our children, man. When we raising our children, man, guess what? When we teach it in the congregation, we try to tell brothers and sisters, man, how we supposed to be. Like, look, brother, little sister, look, that's something that you feeling, man. Don't put them feelings aside. You know what I'm saying? The issues come from your own mind. brothers, the issues come from your own mind. Put those things aside, man. We don't know.
Verse 24. Put away from thee a forward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee.
So he said, put away. After telling you the issues come out, it comes out your mind. The next thing I just did, he said, put it away. Because guess what? When your mind thinking, now your lips starting to talking. That's why I said, put away from them perverse lips, man. And forward talking. Put those things away, because after you, as a man thinking, so is he gonna say, and so is he do, man. Read on.
Verse 25. Let thine eyes look right on.
Let your eyes look up on the scriptures, man. You know.
And let thine eyelids look straight before thee.
And let thy eyelids. Why does it say that? Why does it say things like that? Because let's go to it. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 7. Say, let their eyes look straight ahead. What are we looking at? Let's go to the scriptures and find out what is it talking about, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 7.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow.
He said the entrance thereof is narrow. You got to keep your eyes on the prize, man. We don't.
And it's set in a dangerous place to fall.
But it also set in a dangerous place to fall, because we know in Sirach chapter 2, the Lord said, prepare your heart for temptation. It's set in a dangerous. Guess what? We in the captivity. This is set in a dangerous place to fall. Here, man. We don't.
Like as if there were a fire on the right hand.
There's a fire on the right. Read on.
And on the left, a deep water.
And on the left, it was a deep water, man. Read on.
And one only path between the both, even between the fire and the water. So small that there could be but one man go there at once.
He said it's so small. That's how he said. That's why he said keep your eyes straight forward. Because they entered so small. Matter of fact, Christ gonna say the same thing. It's gonna Matthew.
Let me get one thing for
you.
Go drop down to verse 21.
Verse 21. For God hath given straight commandments.
What did he do?
For God hath given straight commandments.
So there's straight path. We need to walk that narrow path. He gave us straight commandments. Read on.
To such as came.
To such as came. So these commandments, they don't sway to the left or right. If you walk these commandments, that's the path of the Most High God, and it's gonna lead you down that narrow path. Read on.
What they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
So if we walk these straight commandments, we can avoid that water, and we can avoid that fire, and we can walk on into eternal life. Go ahead,
Because let's go get another precept. Matthew chapter 7, verse 13, right quick. Let's go see what the Mashiach Yahweh Shai said. See if we gonna say anything a little different than what they say. Scriptures say what they say. They go back to back, man.
Ready?
Yeah, read that out.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 13. Enter ye at the straight gate.
So enter ye at the straight gate. Keep your eyes on the prize. Read on.
For wide is the gate.
He said, wide is the gate, though. Read on.
And broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
But just read that again.
Enter ye at the straight, enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate.
See, because he said enter into the straight gate. But guess what? The gate looks wide because why? Read on.
And broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Because guess what? It look broad because it got so these paths is taking it like it's got a leg. You can be led into destruction too. Because you got fire on the left and you got water on the right. But that one path that's in the middle, he said just one person going through there at a time. Read on.
And many be there, Salakia, and many there be which go in their end.
But he said it's gonna be many people that go through this gate.
Damn. Hold on. Go ahead.
Read on.
Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way.
So guess what? Now he's giving you a better understanding. He's saying, because it just said it was a broad gate on verse 13. But guess what? Verse 14 he said, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way. You got to be, because this path says only one person can fit there at a time. This is how you would. That's why Christ is saying that Christ don't teach out of the pocket. But this literally says the same damn thing.
Now peep this. So let's say wide is the gate,
right?
And broad is the path, right? But narrow is the way to life.
That's right.
Now tell me, am I making this up? The gate, Christianity. Broad, wide.
Broad.
The path, Christianity, Catholicism, Lutheran, Baptist, Pentecostal, Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, 5%ers, Islam. Look at all these different paths on this broad path, man. Being an Israelite, one of the 12 tribes of children of Israel, keeping the law, statutes, commandments. This is narrow. Not many people want to. 2/3 of the Israelites, just blood Israelites, don't want to do this.
That's right.
So how you finna tell me that Christianity is the way when it got a broad path? That don't make no sense. If Christianity can't be the way, then according to Christ, because there's too many paths on this broad way. The gate too wide. It say everybody can get in.
Right.
But to keep these laws, statutes, commandments, how many people you hear saying that?
Amen.
That path is very narrow of the people that saying that. Come on, man.
Read on up.
14 from the top. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life. And few there be that find it.
It's few that be that find it, because guess what? A lot of people get tossed to and fro, man.
Exactly.
And this right here goes right into what I just got finished saying, verse 15.
Read on, verse 15. Beware of false prophets.
Read that again, man.
Beware of false prophets.
Christianity, Catholicism, all these things, all these different religions. I just named these things, man. We on.
Which come to you in sheep's clothing.
Because they come to you, brother, we love you, brother. We love you, brother. You're my brother. And guess what? They got drawn knives behind their back, man. Because guess what? Long as you keep on filling their churches up, fueling their jets up so they can fly around the country, man. They go visit their other lovers. Long as they can do what they want to do, they come to you. We love you, brother. Only thing you got to do is just buy this holy water that comes out of Jerusalem. But if you go look at the water over in Jerusalem, it's the water brown. But they give you this clear ass water. They're gonna get out the sink in the church.
That's right.
You know,
beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raven wolves.
But inwardly they are raven wolves, man, seeking who they may devour. What you got out?
Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 1. This is why he said this, man. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord. The Lord is talking about how these people that took us off our path, man, off the path of righteousness. This is what our shepherd's supposed to be doing, leading us down the path of righteousness. But what they doing instead? Scattering the sheep of his pasture, right? Because they don't want us to be on that narrow path. But if we scatter the broad, then we on that broad path that lead us to destruction. Because now we discombobulated. Now we questioning the Bible ain't it's a white man book. That's the most debunkable thing in the Bible. That's one of the easiest things to debunk. Because if it's the white man book, he would have made Christ white. And they're not even white. They red. So that's another class.
Big con on this. Let's go get another precept. So Rock chapter 15, man. And verse 14, man. And go all the way in on it, man, because the path that we supposed to, because this is the bread that we supposed to be giving our children, man. My son that bread. So Rock chapter 15.
Because how can we be trying to go down that narrow path if I'm stopping and I'm beefing with my brother?
No, man.
I'm not looking where I'm going because I'm too focused on this beef that I got with my brother, which means I'm in the midst of the curse, doing around 28 and 54, instead of trying to break that curse and love on one another. Go ahead, out.
That's Sirach 15.
Start at verse 12 right quick.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 15, and verse 12. Say not thou, he hath caused me to err.
See, don't say that the Lord caused you to err, man. We don't.
For he hath no need for the sinful man.
Because the Lord said, I have no need for a sinful man. He said, I have no need for a sinful man. The Lord loves sin. He hates the sin, but he loves the sinner. He said, he had no need for a sinful man, man. Take it how you want to take it, man. Scripture say what they say, man. Read on.
The Lord hateth all abominations.
He said he hate all abominations. The Lord said if I hate it, he said, guess what, man? He can't turn it back around. The Lord hates these things, man.
He loves some abominations.
No, he said he loved all abominations.
No, he made an exception.
No,
for me.
all.
Oh, okay.
It's going, you did that the way all abominations, man. Read on now.
And they that fear God love it not.
And they that fear God, guess what? We don't love the abomination either. We don't like eat shrimp and lobster and all these defiled things. We don't want these things. We love them. We fear the Most High God, man. Read on now.
He himself made man from the beginning.
Because the Lord made man from the beginning. Read on.
And left him in the hand of his counsel.
Because he left him in the hand of the counsel because he sent Adam there, man. Adam was the God of the planet, man. Which is, guess what? His first begotten son, man. He left him here from the beginning. He gave him the counsel, man. But we know how he went off too. This is what it is, man. Read on.
If thou wilt to keep the commandments and to perform acceptable faithfulness.
He said, but if you will keep the commandments and perform acceptable faithfulness, read on.
He has set fire and water before thee.
Here you go again. He said he set fire and water before you, man. This is a straight path that he told you to keep your eyes on the prize. He said, I said, fire and water before you, man. Read on.
Stretch forth thy hand unto whether thou wilt.
Look at this. What now? The Lord said, but you can stretch forth your hand to whatever which side you want to take, man. You're gonna take this narrow path, or you can stretch forth your hand for the right or to the left and get this fire and water, man.
Right,
whatever you want to do, the Lord said, it don't make me never know mine. Whatever you want to go, he said, we can go there. Read on now.
Before man is life and death.
He said, before man, he gave you life and death, man. He's not saying that every prophet gonna say the same thing because the Lord does not change. His words gonna keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. You know how we do? We just articulate a little bit better. Some people can break it down a little bit better than other people. I was watching the brothers the other day, boy. That brother teaching Deuteronomy 28, man. That it brought tears in my eyes, boy. I said, brother, teaching that brother. But he teaching it though. Because some people can articulate that thing a little bit better, but he ain't saying nothing different than what we bring out. Brother just was bringing it, man, because he had that passion on him, man, and he bringing that soul to it, man. We don't.
Before man is life and death. And whether him like it shall be given him.
So whatever you like, it's gonna be given you. If you want death, guess what, man? This is the whole thing I've been telling people for years, man, before I even walked out in this truth, man. And it comes to pass, the things that you say. And these are things right here make more sense because the Lord put it on your spirit too. People need to find how to live instead of trying to figure out the best way how to die, man. Find the best way to live, man, instead of trying to find the fastest damn way to die, man. Because some of our people, they just sit like vessels set for destruction, man. Fit for that thing, man. Read on now.
For the wisdom of the Lord is great.
Because our God wisdom is great, man. We don't.
And he is mighty in power. And behold all things.
And he got his wisdom in all things, man. Read.
And his eyes are upon them that fear him.
And the Lord reverence the ones that fear him, man. That's why the Lord can use the bush, and he put fire in the bush and speak out that bush. Because when the wintertime comes, if them leaves supposed to go off that bush, them leaves gonna go off that bush.
Right.
When the springtime comes, them leaves come up back on that bush like it commanded. But we the only creatures that the Lord made that don't want to listen.
Right.
Read on up.
So like it, I got lost.
Verse 19 to the top.
Verse 19 from the top. And his eyes are upon them that fear him. And he knoweth every work of man.
He know every work of all men. Read on.
He have commanded no man to do wicked.
He said he had commanded no man. Creflo Dollar, guess what, man? TD Snakes, all them pastors that trying to teach you, he ain't command no man to do wickedly because this next part is heavy, man. Read on.
Neither have he given any man license to sin.
Because when you say the laws is done away with, now you think the Lord gave you a license to sin, man. Something wrong with that picture, man. The Lord said, I gave you no license to sin, man. Guess what? We up under grace. Yes, we up under grace. Yeah, we are up under grace. If it wasn't for grace, we'd none of us be in the truth. Because we all did stuff that's worthy to be put to death, and grace gave us an opportunity that we can come back to the God, law, statutes, and commandments without dying before we make it to him. He ain't give you no license to go sin, though. Brother should be scared out their damn mind to go sin, man.
Let me get something on that. Like I just brought out. It say, for the wisdom of the Lord is great, man. The wisdom of the Lord is great. Proverbs 1:5 say, because this is the wisdom of the Lord. Everything in this Bible is the wisdom of the Lord. So anything coming out, we should adhere to. Proverbs 1:5. Read that.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 5. A wise man will hear.
What did the Bible say?
A wise man will hear. And will increase learning.
When the prophets is coming out with classes, thus saith the Lord through the scriptures, it says that a wise man will hear. So what we talking about is, are we gonna take care of our people, man? Are we gonna treat our people right, man? Why waste time on trying to find out a faster way to die? Why waste time when we could be finding out how to love one another? That's what the Bible is telling us to do. The second greatest commandment is to love your brother as yourself. That's wisdom from the Most High God. And a wise man and a wise woman will hear these words and increase their learning. Read on.
And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel.
And a man and a woman of understanding shall obtain to wise counsel. Right now, you can consider this counsel. For anybody that's listening, we come and thus saith the Lord, and we teaching unity in the faith amongst brothers and sisters. If you are wise, you will attain to this wise counsel that we're coming out with. Give me verse 7.
Verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
What did the Bible say?
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
So like it's Sirach 15:19 say, and his eyes are upon them that fear him. His eyes are upon him that fear him. And Proverbs 1:7 say, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So the Lord is looking and watching to see if you're going to attain this knowledge. But you got to fear him first. And we fear him, anything that you know would not be, if you even think that you might offend a brother or sister, you need to stay away from that thing, man. That's wisdom. Because we don't want to do that with one another. Read on now.
But fools despise wisdom and instruction.
But if you're a fool, then you'll despise everything that's coming out the scriptures. The scriptures that you read on your own, the classes that you see brothers bring out. If you are a fool, you would push that to the side and keep doing the foolishness that you're doing. But a wise man and a wise woman will adhere to these words because why? It's for our own good. You only in pride if you think that these words ain't talking to you. If I think these words ain't talking to me, I'm in pride because every single day we got to make that sacrifice. Every single day we got to remember I have to love my brothers and sisters. So one day you might wake up and be on the wrong side of the bed, shall I say, and ready to snap off on everybody. That's the main time that you have to remember. Remember that fire is on the right and that water on the left, right? Do you want to fall in today because you in your feelings? Do you want to lose your life today because you in your feelings? That's pride. No matter how we feel, man, when it comes to the Most High God and Yahushua and the Israelites, we have to put our pride to the side for one another. So if that means that mainly you need to hold your tongue. That's the main thing that we can do for one another. Hold our tongue, man.
Big con on that. Big con. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, man. Like you say, mainly brothers and sisters need to hold their tongue, man. And we're going to touch that again because we're going to see what Christ said about these things, man. Because brothers and sisters, man, guess what? Some people just talk according to Ecclesiastes 5:1. That's why I said, keep thy foot when you come into the house of God. And be more ready to hear. Matter of fact, we're going to read that before we get there.
The sacrifice.
Let's go to Ecclesiastes 5:1 right quick, then we'll go back. Hold that precept, we're going right back. Because there's one part in Ecclesiastes 5:1, the last part, man, is what people fail to realize, man. Read that out.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. For they consider not that they do evil.
Because they consider not that they do evil, man. When somebody's saying and they just blabbing out their mouth and talking, guess what? You in this walk and you doing that, guess what? You don't really consider that you're doing evil. You think you're doing something right at the time. You going, that's a person going all the way off, man. That's how a person go all the way off because you think that you do. If you in this walk and you in the knowledge of the truth and you just fly off and just say something and just go plumb nuts guess what you doing at that particular time? You don't think that you're doing evil. You think that you're doing something right, and you going all the way off. We're not to be like that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, right quick.
This book of Matthew chapter 7 and verse 7. Ask, and it should be given you.
The Lord said, if you ask me, it's gonna be given to you, man. We don't
seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be open unto you.
He said, but if you knock at the door, man, it's gonna be open to you. The Lord said, I'm giving you free range to come to me, man. Not for the mess, but I'm giving you free range to come to me, man. Read on.
Verse 8. For everyone that seeketh, receive it.
Just for everyone that, guess what? If you looking for life, you can get life. But if you looking for death, you can get death too. Read.
So like in verse 8 from the top. For everyone that asketh, receive it. And he that seeketh, find it.
And he that seeketh, gonna find it. Read.
And to him that knocketh, it shall be open.
To him that knocketh shall be open, man. Read on.
Or what man is there of you, whom if he Salakia, or what man is there of you, whom if his son asks bread, will he give him stone?
What man, if his son asks for bread, would you give him a stone? If you got life, if you asking for life, I'm gonna give you life. But if you asking for death, I'm gonna give you. This is the Lord said, I'm gonna give you but death. I'm not. If you asking me for life, I'm not gonna give you death. That's what the Lord is telling you. But if you, I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna be straightforward. I'm straightforward with you, man. I'm straightforward all the way. This is how our God is with us, man. We got to accept it. Because sometimes people don't really consider the things that they do. We don't.
Or if he asks a fish, will he give him a serpent?
If your son asks for a fish, you gonna give him a snake? Nah. Come on, man. Read on.
If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children.
So he said, if then, being evil, know how to give. So if you're doing evil, you gonna give a good gift? You're not gonna give no good gift. Because if I'm a drug dealer, guess what, man? I'm gonna have to teach my son to do, man. Sell drugs, man. But if I keep these commandments and I follow the faith of the Mashiach and I keep these commandments, guess what I'm gonna teach my kids? I'm gonna teach my kids exactly what I know, man.
And let me show you some slick stuff. You got some of these rappers out here was drug dealers, rapping about it and teaching other people children. Right. But then they want their child to go to college. You still wrong, brother.
Oh, you a devil. That's a devil, man.
Oh yeah, my son gonna go to private school and go to college while I'm teaching yours how to sell dope.
But then they say this, then the reporters say something to them about it. You know what they say? Well, if they follow me, then they should know that I teach this too. Bro, you wrong all the way around, man. You got this damn beat playing, going, and his head bobbing to the beat, and all of a sudden, all the words you saying, and he started listening. Why you think it's so easy to learn A, B, C, D? Because guess what? It's a beat to that. But when you take the beat away and you just talking to somebody, guess what? A lot of people don't want to hear it. Right. Don't rap that same way that you feel that you teaching your children, you rap it to the other children, man. But they won't do it, man. They know what they doing, man. Because our people love a song and a dance, man. We some people, man. Read on.
Verse 11 from the top. If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give good things to them that ask
him? So how much more the Father give good things to them that ask of him, man? If you seeking the Lord gonna like, man, that's my son, man. That's my daughter, man. I love them, man. They seek him. That's why he said, guess what? King David went out, but he said King David was a man after his own heart, man. We don't know.
Verse 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophet.
Because this is the law and the prophet. What does all this even mean, man? What is all this even going into? What does this even mean? This is, we're gonna give you the clear understanding. Jump up to verse 1. This is what this meaning, man. This is what this, it said, whatever man do to you, you do it to them. What does this mean? Read it out.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. Judge not that ye be not judged.
See, you can't judge me.
Judge not that ye be not
It
judged.
said, judge not, that ye be not judged.
Huh.
That don't mean you can't judge.
Right.
But it's a way to go about doing things.
Right.
We judge each other for correction. Because why? We don't want to suffer sin upon one another, right?
Exactly.
But we have to keep in mind how we going about doing this stuff. How would I want you to come to me about something that I'm doing wrong? If I'm doing something wrong, I think I might want my brother to hit me up. Say, I'm just my thought process. I think you might be going off on this. And then showing me in the scriptures in a calm and collective way.
Right.
Then I have no choice to accept that. Why? That's how I want to be approached.
That's right.
Some brothers be like, I don't give a damn. Tell me right here, right now. I don't care how you tell me. And they let it be known, right? But how do you want it to come? You can't be like, oh, nigga, you off, nigga. You ain't got no friends on. And then when somebody react, now you tripping. No, you off, bro. What the scripture say? Where I read,
Judge not, that ye be not judged.
judge not. Verse 12 said, therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Now we get into the law and the prophets. Do unto them as you want to be done to you. Read on now.
Verse 2, start of verse 2.
Yes, sir.
Verse 2, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged.
For what judgment you judge, keep that same energy.
Keep that same damn energy.
Keep the same energy
Real.
for how you want to judge somebody.
Right.
But when somebody come at you with that energy, don't trip. Because you want to be all on somebody's neck instead of being a brother and sister and pointing these things out in a proper and understanding way, like a brother and sister do. But what we see on Facebook, on social media, all we doing is judging and not even doing the righteous judgment.
Right.
That's what we supposed to do. Righteous judgment. Righteous judgment is seeing that somebody's going off according to the law and pointing that out to them to try to get them to correct themselves. But it's ultimately up to them to do that. We are not the judge and jury. We are merely brothers and sisters looking out for one another. We don't need no cop force. We already got the Most High. He watching everything. Read on.
And another thing, the brothers and sisters sitting up there calling the police on each other, brothers and sisters, you off, man. Go to the law, man, for your brother. You got a problem with your brother, go to the law, man. Let's do what the scripture tell us to do in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, man. You got a problem with your brother, go to the law, man. Go ahead.
And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again.
Because what measure you meet is going to be measured to do. The way that you come at brothers and sisters, be prepared for it to come at you the same way. I'm going to read this on the side. Psalm 18 and verse 25. With the merciful thou shalt shew thyself merciful. With an upright man thou shalt shew thyself upright. With the pure thou shalt shew thyself pure. And with the forward thou shalt shew thyself forward. So however you come, it's going to come to you, and vice versa. So we want to make sure we doing this thing properly, man. Matter of fact, give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 16 right quick. Because this is what a lot of our people be doing. Instead of coming, what would Christ do? When they told Christ that the woman had committed adultery, what they were ready to do? They was ready to stone her. But Christ said, he who is without sin, cast the first stone in. What happened? Nobody in the room. That's all of us. When we trying to put each other down for the things that we trying to come up out the whole of this world, man. We trying to come up out our iniquities and our sins that we was taught in this world. Right. So we all need to be helping one another. What you say, we need to be finding a way to live life, getting to find a quicker way to death. And going against each other is a quicker way to death. Read that out.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 16. Be not righteous over much.
What did the Bible say?
Be not righteous over much.
Be not righteous over much in the first place, because I'm pretty sure we all got our own households to deal with. I bet you I got a lot of stuff to work on. My family got a lot of stuff to work on. Our household got a lot of stuff to work on. Why am I out seeking people to try to rebuke? Why am I searching people out to try to rebuke? You trying to be righteous over much. Read on that.
Neither make thyself overwise.
Don't make yourself overwise, man. This thing is simple. Worry about you keeping the commandments. You need to get yourself salvation with fear and trembling. You need to get yourself into the kingdom. Why am I worried about this person getting into the kingdom? I got to worry about myself getting into the kingdom. Read on.
Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?
Why should you destroy yourself and end up falling into sin, trying to worry about something that somebody else is doing? That don't make no sense, man.
Why you worry about Boaz?
You need to worry about your ways. That's the motto of this group. Let's go back to.
Hold on. Read verse 17.
Yeah.
Verse 17. Be not over Salakia. Be not over much wicked. Neither be thou foolish.
Be not over much wicked, man. Neither be thou foolish. Because what we just read in Proverbs, what a foolish person gonna do, and what a wise person gonna do. A wise person gonna take heed to what these scriptures is talking about, man. And the scriptures don't tell us to move like that. Matter of fact, Christ told us to forgive each other 70 times 7. If you was offended, if you not even the one, if somebody ain't even did nothing to offend you, then what's your problem?
Yep, because we supposed to be provoking each other to love anyway.
For real. That's what the scriptures teach us how to be wise. Read on up.
Why shouldest thou die before thy time?
Hey, it would never be such a law. For real.
I'm over here about to get an aneurysm, trying to be arguing back and forth with somebody about their mess. No, don't worry about that, man. Worry about you. Like I said one time, and I ain't heard nobody else say it, but it makes sense. This is the one time to be selfish. Be selfish in trying to get you salvation, man. Let's go back to Matthew.
Yeah, and that precept on Ecclesiastes 7:17 is Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 27. I'm gonna read it out on the sidebar. The fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Why should you die before your time? You don't want to do it, man.
Because like you brought up earlier about your own vain opinion, overthrowing your judgment. You will have people out here thinking that they right as the day is long.
For real.
And just as wrong as they want to be, because while you so worried about being right, you in the midst of breaking the laws. You ain't even realizing. I done seen so many brothers sitting up here getting on somebody about some fringes to where they done start showing hate towards a brother. I ain't gonna say no name. About some fringes. Now it done turned into hate. Now you talking down.
Right.
Bro, you're not in the spirit.
Right.
Since you're not in the spirit, that is not of the Most High God. Yahushua would not be doing that. You got some.
Go ahead.
Let's go back to Matthew. Verse 3.
7 and 3.
Yeah.
And why, Salakia, Matthew chapter 7 and verse 3. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?
Like I said before, we all got our own situation to deal with. How can I worry about the mote in my brother's eye if I got a beam in my eye? My household out of order, but I'm trying to tell you what to do with yours. You can suggest things, but if it's to the point where you causing contention or offending one another, it's better just to be quiet. Let them people deal with their stuff. They're sorted out. The Most High sinners are all on the same path. We all got to sort our stuff out. It's nothing that you're going to be able to do that the Most High can't do for our brothers and sisters to get them out of the situation they're in and straighten them up the way they need to do, as well as ourselves. We need to get the mote out of our own eye, the beam out of our own eye first. Because I can't even really see the mote in your eye if I got a beam in mine. I'm just seeing what I want to see. That's where it go to you need to get the all the evidence that you need. You need to hear the full explanation of the matter. Conclusion of the whole matter. Read on.
Or how would thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye.
Man, how I'm gonna tell you, let me get that out of your eye. Man, brother, you need to fix your wife, bro. Your wife out of order, brother. But then my wife out of order. What the heck? But that's what our people do. Your stuff out of order. You ain't coming to no Sabbath class, but you gonna try to tell somebody about how they teach.
Right.
You ain't coming to no Wednesday classes, but you gonna tell somebody about their friends. Man, stop it, man. Stop it. Read on out.
Thou hypocrite.
Now what?
Thy hypocrite.
Now what?
Thy hypocrite.
We just being some Pharisees, man. That's all you being. As Pharisees. You being overly righteous about much. That's what a Pharisee, you over righteous, man. Bring it down. We ain't got to be over righteous. The Lord said, this Christ in thou hypocrite. Read on.
First, cast out the beam of out thine own eye.
First, get your house in order.
Then what? Then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
If you got your house in order, then you can clearly direct your brother through the scriptures on how he may be able to fix his situation.
And also, when you're thinking about the house, your personal house, because some people they scratch their wife. They ain't got themselves in order.
Oh my goodness.
They so far out of the way. You like, what the hell are you talking about, brother?
100% correct on that.
Because man, guess what? Sisters do. Sisters the same way. Ain't so worried about another sister. Sister, you doing everything up under the sun, man. But you are worried about this other sister. Man, this sister right here, man, she come up here. She want to bring gifts for people every Sabbath, man. And some people, she don't even bring gifts. Sister, is that your business? What is this sister business? If this sister chooses to do whatever she want to do for another sister, that ain't got nothing to do with you. You need to get yourself together. Oh, man, Blue come up in this mug, man. He got the Hebrew music playing too loud in the parking lot. Okay, brother. That's his business, brother.
Did he break the law? That's my only question at this point. If you talking about somebody and they ain't even broke no law, bro, you out of line, man. Did this sister break the law? Well, come on, man, stop it. Our people need to stop it, man, and hold on to provoking love unto one another. That's what I believe. Like the scriptures say, provoke love unto one another. Call out something good that a brother or sister doing. Positive reinforcement, man.
Matter of fact, go to Philippians chapter 2 and 12 right quick. Real, man. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12, man. Like I say, I'm like, man, just call out something good, man. Dang, sister, your hair beautiful today.
This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence.
Because guess what? A lot of times, even us being in leadership, people got leadership, they in congregation. Guess what? They around you. Look, a lot of times people ain't gonna do nothing. But boy, they get by themselves. Boy, you get all kind of calls. Here they come, man. Like, what the hell are y'all talking about, man? Like what you got saying, man. Look, if you can have peace in the congregation for a whole, like if I can, like I'm like, oh boy, he said that I ain't gonna say his name, but he said, if I can get a month of peace in the congregation, man, I'll take my right shoe off and walk around for 2 months. He said, I walk around for 2 months with my right shoe off, man. I just walk around. Hey man, get what I feel him, man. Go ahead, read it out.
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Man, read that over again, man.
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
The Bible told us to work out our own salvation, man. Okay. If you told them once, you told them twice, guess what? They didn't hear you. Okay. That's it. That's it, man.
That's it.
According to Titus, that's how we supposed to do it.
Real.
We supposed to say it once, twice, okay. Brother didn't want to do it, okay.
What you gonna force them into the kingdom?
What you gonna draw some blood from the brothers and sisters? He said, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man. That's what just do that, man. Just do that, man. well, sister didn't want, she didn't receive me, or brother didn't receive me.
Okay.
Guess what, man?
You not handle rejection. That's a big part of this business right here. You're gonna have to learn how to accept some rejection.
Because guess what? This is the whole reason for the Most High. This is how the Most High. That's why you have seasons. I'm gonna give you some. Matter of fact, go to 1 Corinthians 3 and 5 right quick. I'm gonna give y'all this. Give you something right quick. Just get ready to sum it down. 1 Corinthians 3 and 5, man.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 5. Who then is Paul? And who is Apollos? But ministers by whom ye believe, ye even as the Lord gave to every man.
So guess what? At the time, this is Paul and brother Apollos going into the church in Corinth, man, preaching to the northern tribe, man, and telling the Jews that the northern tribe, those your brothers, man, trying to put the family back together. That's why it's called. That's why you're gathering yourself together, man. We don't.
I have planted, Apollos watered.
Read that again.
I have planted, Apollos watered.
He said, Paul said, I planted, but Apollos watered the plant, man. Read on.
But God gave the increase.
But the Most High God gives the increase, man. Of this whole thing, the Most High God gives the increase, man. Paul said, I just planted. I planted the seed. Apollos came and watered the seed. The Most High God gave the increase, man. We can't guess what? The only thing, if I plant that seed in the ground and I come in and water the seed, now the only thing we can do is me and I can do just watch the seed to see if it's gonna come out the ground.
That's it.
Because if the Most High don't yield that seed, that bud don't bud, then it just ain't gonna grow, man. We don't.
So then neither is he that planted anything, neither he that watered, but God that giveth the increase.
See, it's neither he that planted or it's neither he that watered, but it's the Most High God. The point of the whole matter is the Most High God gives the increase, man. We don't.
Now he that planted and he that watered are one.
So, but guess what? Since we both did the work of the Most High, we on one accord with that thing, because guess what? We doing the work of the Lord. We don't.
And every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor.
Because every man gonna receive his reward to his own labor. Because if you want to put death in folks' life, then guess what? Hey, you got to choose the side you be on.
Right.
But if you want to put that life, guess what? You gonna receive that life too, man. We don't.
For we are laborers together with God.
Say that again.
For we are laborers together with God.
He said we are laborers together with. This is going into Christ, man. And guess what? In the Most High God, he sends many laborers out here, man. But guess what, man? There's a lot of people that don't want to do the work. He called you out of darkness, but a lot of people don't want to do it, man. We don't.
Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are God's builders.
Because we are God's husbandry, and we are the builders. We the workers that he's sitting out here. We on the forefront with that thing, man. Guess what? And the brothers on the forefront, guess what? You sisters on the forefront too, man.
That's right.
You sisters, guess what, man? You might not be physically on the streets with the brothers teaching. You might not be in the classroom with the brothers teaching. But your work is so much more that the congregation has to build on, man.
That's right. Sisters
that can decorate for the feast days, man. Make sure that the congregation is fed on the Sabbath, man.
It's just like this, huh? You got the infantryman that hit the front line, right? But back at the base, somebody got to keep the base running.
Got to keep it going.
You got to have CDs to build the buildings. You got to have cooks to make the food. You got to have people in supplies. You got to have stuff still moving while the infantryman on the front line. The whole army ain't built off of people with the guns.
That's right.
It's built off more people that don't have guns than it is people with guns. Just to solidify what I'm saying.
It's a big con on there, man. So it's all of us, man. We supposed to be laborers, man. Let's just do what's commanded of us, man.
So let me bring this out, because like I just brought this out. There's no way of getting around this. That somebody may plant, somebody may water, but the Most High gonna bring the increase. For anybody that want to keep pushing, and a lot of our brothers and sisters, when they first come into the truth, do it. I did it. We all did it. Because we want to try to save our people. But we have to remember what the scriptures say. Titus chapter 3 and verse 10.
That's a stamp.
Read it up.
Yep.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 3, and verse 10. A man that is a heretic after the first and the second admonition reject.
Because admonition means warning. A man that is a heretic after the first and second warning reject. Read on.
Knowing that he is that is such is subverted and sinned, being condemned of himself.
Sometimes people is just in that state of mind right at that time. Sometimes it might take something miraculous. The Most High gonna have to show them something. Some people just ain't there yet.
Right.
So don't. The Lord telling you, don't waste your time at the first and second warning. Leave them be. It's just not their time yet. It's not your personal mission to jump on somebody's neck about everything that they doing wrong. It's your personal mission to keep the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High God. Let me get one more. Give me Sirach chapter 11 and verse 9. Because this is how you lead into this. And we know we want to save all our people, man, but if you've been an Israelite long enough, you understand that that's not happening. You're not going to save everybody. The Most High going to do his will. Read that out.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 9. Strive not in a matter that concerneth thee not.
So personally, me, I may be on social media, I may be in the world, in the streets, and see something that's going on, right? It does not concern me. Last time I've seen somebody jump in some business, they ain't had nothing to do with them, they end up getting shot. Strive not in matters that concern thee not. They go spiritual matters and physical matters. Read on.
And sit not in judgment with sinners.
And sit not in judgment with sinners, because when you get to dealing with stuff that don't involve you, that's how you're going to end up in the judgment with sinners. Because you making yourself a sinner when you cross a certain line. Read on.
My son, meddle not with many matters.
Do what?
Meddle not with many matters. For if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent.
And listen to the word he used, meddle. You're meddling in many matters. Like a sister getting another sister business with her husband. You meddling. And after a certain amount of time, you're not going to be innocent. You said, I'm just trying to help the sister. No, you're meddling in something that's not your business. And they say, thou should not be innocent. If thou meddle much, thou should not be innocent. Because now sisters get to telling, and women got it bad in the world, trying to tell another woman how to deal with her man. But her household situation ain't together. Read on up.
And if thy follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing.
Because you're going to mess around and get yourself in some mess that you can't get yourself out of. Because now you in the midst of this thing. So if she was getting her butt kicked, you going to mess around and get your butt kicked. If he got shot, you going to mess around and got shot. Because you meddling in matters that don't concern you. And in spiritual matters, you going to mess around and catch that spirit on you. That's on this other person. Because you meddling in matters that does not concern you. And that's how you really get yourself in a bunch of mess and a bunch of drama and a bunch of garbage because you meddling in the matters. I bet you this. One thing that I like about being an Israelite, when we was in the world, we was in the streets. What? At nighttime, where we at? We in the streets. But as an Israelite, where we at? We at the house. If I'm at the house, how much trouble can I get into at my own house? It ain't nothing popping. But we go out in the world, meddling with stuff that don't concern us, it's going to be right there waiting on.
Last precept, man. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 28.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, and verse 28.
I said last precept. Go ahead.
The heart of the righteous studieth to answer.
Read that again.
The heart of the righteous studieth to answer.
He said the heart of the righteous always. These are things that you're going to study to answer, man. You know.
But the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things.
But the mouth of the wicked gonna always pour out the evil things, man. Guess what, man? If a sister trying to give counsel on how to be with your husband. Guess what? The sisters need to go to the scriptures and find how a woman's supposed to be. So if that woman is going off, she can be able to show her through the scripture. You can study the answer. If the brother going through a situation, guess what? We should be able to go in the scriptures and show this brother what it says in the scripture, man. We supposed to study to give that answer, man. He said, but the mouth of the wicked poured out evil things. That's when the person leans to their own understanding, man. We are not to do that, to lean to our own understanding. We are to obey God rather than man. So guess what? If we men, if I'm a man and I'm up here trying to teach another man, guess what? I'm gonna need to go to the Most High and show what the Most High said and not what we say. We said let's follow the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Let's get us a law, man, right quick, man. You got a law over there. You looking for one? I'm looking for one. Looking for one. Those that gave to the cause, man. I'll pray to you, brothers and sisters that gave to the cause, man. Help us push this truth. I know the wicked daylight saving time is supposed to be, I think, was March the 4th.
Yeah, around
that time. The wicked daylight saving time. Matter of fact, let me see what it say over here on this weekend.
It's definitely wicked.
Calendar. I think it's March the. It's like March the 7th. No, there you go. March the 14th. Yeah. It's daylight saving time, March the 14th. So, we'll probably be after that, after the daylight saving time thing. We'll probably be going towards Houston, going out and bringing dust here to the Lord. Also, brothers and sisters that's watching, man, and tuning in, man. Y'all like and share the videos, man. Help us push this truth to the four corners of the world, man. We always say, Father, God's law, statutes, and commandments. So I guess let's go get us a law.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 9.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 9. Open thy mouth, judge righteously. Do what? Open thy mouth and judge righteously. And do what? And plead thy cause of the poor and needy.
So the Lord tells us to open our mouth and judge righteously. Judging righteously is not having a beam in your eye trying to pull the mote out of somebody else's eye. Judging righteously is going according to the scriptures, man, according to the law, and trying to help a brother or sister, not trying to condemn them. And plead the cause of the poor and needy. Don't act like you a super Hebrew or you the big stuff. Holier than thou. That's the word I'm looking for.
Holier than thou.
Holier than thou and more righteous than anybody, because we ain't no righteouser than anybody else. We all in the same boat together, and we need to be trying to help each other.
And then I guess a lot of times people, they see it. Let's go Leviticus 19 to 15, saying the same dang on thing. Might well get it. Leviticus 19 to 15.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect to the Salaki. Let me start from the top. 15 from the top. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the persons of the poor, nor honor the persons of the mighty. But in righteousness shall thy judge thy neighbor.
Said, but in righteousness, this is how we judge our neighbors, man. In righteousness, man. So this is what the Most High God expecting us to do, man. Don't have respect to persons when we do these things, man. We're going to go to the law, and we're going to show you what the Most High God say, man. We're going to let God be true and let every man be a liar, man.
Isaiah 8 and 20.
Isaiah 8 and 20, to the law and to the testimony.
I get that.
You got to bring it out. Law upon law.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Scripture say what they say, man. And with that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom. Yeah. This nigga cut it on